I am Day 9.
I am Husky.
And it is match point right now at the GeForce SC2 Pro-Am, presented by NVIDIA. It is the grand finals. RSVP needs to win one game to take the first place prize of $1,800 in cash and the top-of-the-line NVIDIA graphics card. Xenix Hack needs to win 2 games in a row to get that, and it is on Xel'Naga Caverns. The map choice was Xenix Hacks, and you know what I'm feeling?
What?
The 1-1-1.
Oh, yeah.
I even made 3 fingers in the air towards Husky. And
yeah,
he
I was
like
hoping
3, and I was like 1-1-1 Husky.
Yeah, he was doing a bunch of sign language over here, and I'm like, I hope he's not expecting me to finish this joke because I have no idea where this is going. But just to kind of reiterate, Sean, since this is our last game, potentially in the lower bracket, we won't have another chance to say this. There have been a lot of games played, nearly 10,000 people signed up, and they had 5 weeks of round-robin play. Then they had to work their way through, I believe, a 32-man bracket double elimination, and then they had to work their way through a 16-man finals bracket. So a lot of games are played here. I have to hand it to both of these players for being able to play so well in this tournament, able to make it extremely far. And also, really quick, completely on an unrelated note, this map also has that neutral supply depot, and if our Terran player decides to wall in again, just saying that a very similar thing could happen.
This can be very brutal to charge on the destructible rocks. Come by, you need one little blast on one of your units, and then you can do another pickup on the charge on this supply depot. Void Rays staying with maximum thickness in terms of that phase disruption particle blaster beam. I don't even know what it's called, but it's certainly, or it's a prismatic beam.
I know they have a prismatic core.
Yeah, and it's online. But
you know, I was actually discussing this with one of my friends. We're trying to imagine an SCV repairing a Void Ray, because it does work. In team games, you can repair Protoss units. How is it that an SCV knows how to repair a Void Ray? Does he just turn on the prismatic core? Is that... He's just like, well, I see that your prismatic core is offline, so I'm going to go ahead and turn it on. Oh, there you go. You're at full HP
let me just unplug your prismatic core and plug it back in again. That'll reset the prismatic core, and if for some reason that doesn't work, I'll just transfer you through to level 3 SCV support.
Yep, absolutely.
So we do see that the Marine now parked at the front of the base, and when that second Marine crops up, that's always the sign when you're thinking, ooh, there's probably some sort of factory coming up here. So RSVP is likely just going to wait for a little bit. We'll be sending one Zealot right off the bat. Looks like he wants to be aggressive, and I like this play. You can be aggressive like this, but if you just send a naked Stalker and somehow he has a Marauder, you are going to lose absolutely everything.
Yeah, and that's why a lot of these pro players kind of get a really good sense of exactly what their opponent's doing. I mean, I'm trying to compare maybe someone who doesn't know the game well enough. They see someone send out that first Stalker, so in their play, they're like, okay, I'm going to send out my first Stalker, put on some pressure, get some scouting, but you have to make sure there is no Marauder there with that concussive shell, so you have to have a really good read on exactly what they're doing, and continuing to be very aggressive on those chrono boosts, like you mentioned, Sean, as he just chrono boosted out yet another Stalker. Is there a pylon in the bottom right side? Is there a pylon right there? Is he going to do a Stargate? If he does, I am in love with RSVP, because Void Rays openers can be so difficult to do, but if you see that they're walling in on these maps with these neutral depots, do it, because it is so darn good.
Oh, and it looks like RSVP trying to do a little scoot and shoot around, trying to get up and do a little bit of poking and prodding damage. More Stalkers coming out. I'm most surprised at that double chrono boost on there. So many Stalkers going to be at the front of the base early. Like 2. Yeah. And actually, at this point in the game, it's quite unusual to have 2 Stalkers this quickly. I mean, we're seeing Xenix Hack has to do all this add-on swapping to get that money 1-1-1 started, and when all of a sudden there's this many units there, Hack actually not expecting this many units at the start of the game, and wow, RSVP managing to find a kind of miraculous hidden timing window against this 1-1-1 play. Xenix Hack needed to get that reactor add-on, and now looks like he's going to be losing SCVs. He will be losing the depot. The Banshee's trying to get out. 2 Marines popping up, and it looks like, wow, RSVP and is expanding behind all of this.
Sean, this is 1 gate out of our Protoss player. That is all he had. The only advantage he got was when he chrono boosted out the Stalkers, and this is just snowballing out of control. This is the weirdest thing I've ever seen, but it goes to show that Terran players with the 1-1-1 a lot of times get extremely greedy with it. They just say, well, there's no way a Protoss player is going to break me. But he just got broke, son, because he has no depots now. He is completely supply blocked. I think he literally has 0 depots. Maybe he has 1. no, he doesn't have a single supply
Not
depot
a
right
single
now.
depot.
And not a single depot was saved that day, Sean.
Oh my gosh. I mean, RSVP branked the front, which means that
So
Xenix
broke.
Hack got brunk.
Yeah, he's brunken right now. But that is so crazy because I say this time and time again with the 1-1-1 is that if you play it too greedy, you can be punished. But I've never seen it punished quite to this degree at this stage of the game. And RSVP, Chrono boosting out Stalkers, man, you got to watch out for it.
And you know, it's so funny because it's so easy to go to extremes. You say to yourself, on a map like Xel'Naga Caverns, well, do I want to try to get a really fast expand? Oh, that's kind of hard. I'm going to have to play defensively. Or do I want to go all out and go 3-gate Stalker with Void Ray and be really aggressive? And RSVP says, well, I'll just Chrono boost my Warp Gate a lot.
Yeah.
And I'll only have one. And I'll be able to attack with it. So it's a slightly delayed but still very economic opening that accounts for the fact that this map is generally quite open. And I'm so surprised. Look at this, 39 workers. The 1-1-1 is getting constructed, and you know, you might ask, what's the best way to deal with a Terran once he has 30 Marines and 4 tanks and 4 Banshees? And the answer is, just don't let him get there. Kill him before it gets off the ground.
Yeah, RSVP, I think, playing so smart in these last 2 games. I feel like in the first games he was going to be like, all right, we'll play a standard macro game. I'm going to have some fun. We'll see what happens. And he got crushed on it. So now he's thinking, all right, I need to play a little bit smarter. I need to think about what my opponent's going to do and how I can react to it accordingly. And in these last 2 games, he has played so smart from the very beginning. We do have an Immortal being chrono boosted out as well. I think this is actually extremely intelligent out of RSVP because he knows his opponent is going to be at his base fairly soon, so the more Immortals you can have, the better. Can he get this Banshee? This Banshee is invaluable for our Terran player right now. It does scoot on out of there, but you got to remember, not only do Immortals have the +1 range, but they've always been good against siege tanks, and we are going to be seeing siege tanks for sure.
And it's kind of funny, if you look at this mixture, you normally expect there to be about 15 more Marines. In the units lost tab, 23 units have been lost for Xenix Hack. He has 3 tanks out right now. He does not have enough Marines to do what he wants to do. Now it looks like the Immortal and all the Zealots sneaking off to the right. He's expecting the push to come up this left side and then to crush it from 2 angles.
Yeah, now RSVP honestly just has to focus, not make any huge blunders, don't get supply blocked, anything like that, because once this attack comes, it is going to be so heavily delayed. You would expect the attack to come in around the 10-minute mark. We're seeing it a little bit delayed, and not only is it delayed, we don't see a Raven, we don't see a massive amount of Marines, and is he going to pull off his SCVs? Usually they're going to pull their SCVs, but there's a couple. Even that is less than what you would normally see in an attack like this, so it's going to be really tough for Hack to pull this off. Look at this, he's 40 supply behind, and he's going to be going up against these Immortals, so RSVP, I think the damage has already been dealt from that initial attack, and now it's just gonna he just has to clean up this, and that's gonna be all Hack has left.
And it looks like RSVP is getting into position. This could be the final battle of the entire amateur tournament. He is now going to hit it. He has Guardian Shields going up on both sides, now springing into action. It looks like the Immortals not even target firing the tanks, and there they go, obliterating the tanks, and it looks like RSVP may have done it. He may have bested 10,000 players to be the #1 winner of the GeForce Amateur Division of this SC2 Pro-Am. He is the #1 out of 10,000. He will take home 1,800 in cash and that top-of-the-line NVIDIA graphics card. That is absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, RSVP definitely deserves a lot of credit. Not only playing when the momentum was not in his favor anymore, but also being able to win it again against all those rounds throughout all the months of this tournament, able to come out #1. I would like to give RSVP a high five, but I'm going to have to give him an IOU because I don't know where he is at this very moment. But an IOU to RSVP, Sean.
And you know, I'd like to even give an IOU to Team Complexity. Trimaster took 4th in this tournament. IJS Echo 3rd. Xenix Hack gets 2nd. And now another Complexity player in the top 4, RSVP, taking down everything. RSVP, always known to perform very, very well in those online tournaments, has been looking for a big win. And to be able to say, I bested 10,000 players, I cannot emphasize that enough. I mean, that's basically like having to flip a coin 10,000 times and hit heads every single time. And RSVP managed to do that, but not with luck and chance, but with skill, Husky.
Yeah, I was going to say it's like a destruction derby with 10,000 cars competing all at the same time, and somehow his driving prowess was phenomenal. But regardless, he is going to win. Hack is second place.
I know.
And I just want to mention really quick, a couple of the teams, Complexity, one of them, as well as Vile, had a lot of players sign up for this tournament. And I feel like in Season 2, it is the perfect tournament for every team out there to sign up every one of their players. And it shows you, like, Complexity is going to be getting a lot of coverage for this because Trimaster, like you were mentioning, such a strong player who also played at MLG and did well, and did extremely well here. So I got a hand to RSVP, hoping to see more of him, and I feel like in these last 2 games he has played so smart. Instead of just tunnel visioning 2-base Colossus, he was like, what's going to be good on these maps? And he nailed it on the head perfect.
Congratulations to RSVP, and whatever you do, don't go anywhere, because coming up right after this is the finals of the lower bracket of the professional side. It's going to be Alternate Attacks Dark Force versus IM MVP. Whoever wins that will go face MMA for the Pro Championship. Until then, I'm Day9.
I'm Husky, and we'll be back right after this.